You think you're being helpful. You're actually overfunctioning, and it's costing you everything. Overfunctioning is stepping in for people who never asked you to. It's picking up slack nobody asked you to pick up. It's holding the family together, the team, the calendar, all of it. Because some part of you is convinced that the moment that you stop, everything falls apart. From outside, it looks like helping. It looks like you're amazing. From the inside, it's why you're tired all the time. That's why you're quietly resentful and you can't admit it. It's why people in your life don't show up the way you wish they would. Because you've been doing their part for so long, they stop trying. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through the 4 signs you're overfunctioning, the 4 habits that interrupt that pattern, and one rule at the end that will change every relationship you have. Romantic, work, family, all of it. Now, this is going to feel a little uncomfortable in places, so just stick with me. That discomfort, that's the work. Here's the first thing I see nearly every single time. You go to bed early, you sleep 8 hours, you wake up, and you're still tired. That's not a sleep problem. That's a holding problem. When you're overfunctioning, your nervous system never actually gets to rest. You're tracking what your partner forgot. You're managing the kids' schedules and the whole emotional temperature of the house. You're covering for your team even when you're off of the clock. Every single person's stuff is living rent-free in your head. Researchers, they call this cognitive load. The mental work of anticipating, planning, organizing, and monitoring everything around you. Studies show it doesn't switch off when you stop working. It runs in the background, the same way worry does. You're not actively thinking about it, but it's using something. Sleep doesn't clear any of that. So you wake up already carrying it. That kind of tired is a sign you're carrying weight that was never yours to hold. But the exhaustion, that's not even the hard part. You want to know what's harder to admit? You're resentful of your partner who somehow doesn't see what needs doing, of your coworker who gets to leave on time, of your friend who can let her house stay messy, of your kids who are not appreciating all that you do. And then you feel guilty about it because honestly, they didn't ask you to do most of this. That's the trap. They didn't ask, you assumed. You stepped in. You proved you could carry it. And now you're resentful that nobody's helping you carry what you never let them help with in the first place. And here's what the research actually shows. When your mental bandwidth is maxed out managing everyone else, it crowds out your ability to process your own needs, your own capacity, your own limits. The resentment isn't a character flaw. It's a signal that the system is full. I'm Dr. Amber. I build frameworks that help people see the patterns their exhaustion is hiding from them. That bitterness isn't really about other people not pulling their weight. It's about you not being able to stop. Your nervous system is waving a white flag, telling you it can't keep this up. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. Because this one isn't about how you feel. It's about what's actually happening to the people around you. The people around you have quietly checked out since you started doing everything. Not because they're bad people, because you've been doing their thinking for them. You remember the birthdays. You handle the logistics. You read the room. You manage what gets done at work even when it has nothing to do with you. And over time, they stop reaching for those skills. Why would they? You've got this. There's a name for this in psychology. Learned helplessness. Martin Seligman's research showed that when people repeatedly experience that their actions aren't needed, they stop trying entirely, even when the opportunity to try comes back. You didn't make them lazy. You accidentally trained them that their effort wasn't required. So now if you stop, things actually do fall apart. Not because they can't do it, because they haven't had to in years. And that consequence is exactly what keeps you stuck. The thing you were scared of, you accidentally made it true. This isn't about blaming you. It's about naming the loop. You can't ask people to step in while you're still stepping in. The stepping back has to come first, even when that transition is uncomfortable for everyone. But the one that hits people the hardest, this last one, I mean it. This is the one that makes people cry. If I asked you right now with no qualifiers, what do you want? Not what your kids need, not what your team needs, not what your spouse needs. What do you want? Most overfunctioners can't answer that. Or the answer they give is so tied to other people that it's not really an answer. You've been so focused on what everyone else needs that you've lost the ability to identify what you need. You can rattle off everyone else's preferences without thinking. But yours? Total blank. This isn't a mystery. When your mental bandwidth is consumed tracking everyone else, there's genuinely no space left to process yourself. It's not that you don't matter to you. It's that you filled every available lane. That's not selflessness. That's a self that's been allowed to disappear. So now you know what it looks like. Here's what you actually do about it. And I'm not talking about a mindset shift. I mean actual behavior changes. You can't think your way out of overfunctioning. You have to behave your way out. And the 4 behaviors that actually interrupt the pattern are also 4 that feel the worst. Letting someone else handle something even when you could do it better. Asking for help with something, anything, even something small. Saying no to one thing you'd normally say yes to. And do something that's just for you with no productive justification. Pick the one that you do the least, the one that you resist the most. That's the behavior you want to make a habit. Now, how do you make it a habit? I created the Simple Habit Tracker to give you something most habit tools skip. It's not just about checking a box. It's about building a record with yourself. You pick one habit, you track it for 2 weeks, and at the end you sit down with actual data. Not a feeling, not a guess. Data. What worked? What got in the way? And one adjustment to take into the next 2 weeks. That pattern recognition is what makes the behavior change actually stick. Because once you have the data, you finally know what you're actually dealing with. It's linked in the description. And if you've been calling yourself helpful while you quietly burn out, hit the like button right now. The like is how this finds the other people doing the same thing. Now, the rule I promised at the start, the one that changes every relationship that you have. Stop doing for people what they're fully capable of doing on their own. Not because you don't love them, because you do. When you take over what they could handle themselves, you steal them their growth and dress it up as help. The most loving thing you can do is trust them enough to let them figure it out. That's it. That's the rule. It's going to feel selfish, but it's not. It feels selfish because you've been overcorrecting in the other direction for years, and any movement back towards center feels extreme. But it's not extreme. It's just normal. You've just forgotten what normal feels like. Here's what I want you to leave with. You're not failing your people by stopping. You're releasing them and yourself at the same time. The tired, sleep doesn't fix. The resentment you can't admit. The capable people around you who stopped trying. The you've forgotten how to be. All of those are symptoms of one thing. You picked up what wasn't yours to carry, and you've been carrying it so long, it started to feel like your personality. It's not who you are. It's just what you've been doing. Pick one of the 4 behaviors that you want to make a habit. Track it for 2 weeks. See what happens. Tell me in the comments which one. Letting someone handle it, asking for help, saying no, doing something just for you. The Simple Habit Tracker is linked below. And as always, reflect deeply, grow boldly, refine endlessly, and I'll see you in the next one.